Hello, you're watching Ellie from Elementary Paper Crafting. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in the UK, and today I'm going to be playing a game with the artistically inked stamp set, the artistic dies, yeah. It's actually the suite, which is called Expressions in Ink. So it includes the stamp set, the dies, the ephemera pack, which is the beautiful gold die cut shapes and the lovely little sequins, and of course the gorgeous DSP. Now today's project mainly is showcasing the designer series paper, which I've absolutely fallen in love with. I think it's my favourite paper of all time. I'm not going to go through it all again because I did show it to you in the unboxing, but I'm just going to spread it out a little bit here to remind you of just the beauty of it. It really is gorgeous. So without further ado, let's get on with the demonstration. But just to show you, remind you of the lovely, beautiful gold foiling that runs through that paper design. So today I'm going to make a little project for some candles. So a dear friend of mine gifted me these beautiful candles, and I just love them so much that I've decided to make up some gifts for other people. So I've gone and bought some more of these. They are like tea lights. I'm pretty sure they're the same. Actually, I've got a tea light here. Let's just check. Yeah, it is the same circumference, but it's just 3 times deeper. So really different, but beautiful. So I'm going to box up 4, make a little box of 4 for some friends of mine. So I'm going to make a kind of pizza style box. So I'm going to use my trimmer to do the scoring. You can use a scoreboard if you like. I just prefer my trimmer. And I'm starting off with a piece of card that measures 11 inches by 6 1/4. So I'm popping it into my trimmer in landscape orientation, and I'm going to start off by scoring at 1 1/2 inches. Now, when you're using a trimmer, make sure you use this light grey one, not the dark grey, because otherwise you'll end up cutting it. So you go at 1 1/2, and then 4 3/4. And then 6 1/4. And then 9 1/2. And then you turn it so that it's now in portrait orientation, and you again score at 1 1/2. And then turn it 180 degrees so that we can do 1 1/2 again. There's a little edge on my card there, which made it a little bit difficult for me to get that spot on. So pop my trimmer away, and then let's get down to burnishing the score lines. Now I scored it on this side, so when you fold and burnish your score lines, you should fold away from it, so the actual side with the ridge on is what you're folding into. Okay, and when you do your folding, make sure that these edges are spot on, because it really matters when you're making boxes to get it all really perfectly squared up. So fold it over, make sure it's dead level top and bottom before you actually burnish. And again on all of these. And the last one. I've often said it's really important to make sure you burnish really well when you're making boxes. Okay, and then if I do this, you can see how this box is going to come together. So pizza style box means you've got the lid and the base all in one. So the next thing I'm going to do is bring it back to the landscape orientation, and I'm going to cut up from the bottom, all these score lines up to the first score line. Cut straight. Okay. Turn it round so that you've got exactly the same thing again, and cut up all your score lines. And if you're not sure which side of this line to cut, or whether to cut in the middle, I cut so that the actual score line is going to be in this small part. This is going to be the tab, okay? So this is going to be the side of the box. So I don't want to see a score line, so I've kind of cut it away from that. So what we've ended up with is this, and this is where you can really fold it round and see your box coming together. So it would be folded in like this, and then you can just start to bring it over like this and get an idea of what your box is going to look like. Okay, and that's the point where you can pop in whatever you're gifting to make sure it fits. Okay, well, I've made a dummy, so I know it's going to fit. Well, it fitted last time. I sincerely hope it's going to do the same this time. Okay, so the next part is adding the DSP, the designer series paper. And I'm going with the pink. Yep, I know. I like the new polished pink. You never thought you'd hear me say that, but, well, I just do. Now, I've just realised that I've chosen really I'm just going to cut another piece down for this, because I've realised that that piece will be better for something else I want to do. Yeah. So what I've done is I've cut these pieces of designer series paper. I've got one that measures 3 inches by 3 inches, so that will fit onto the lid and give me an 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. And then I've cut 4 pieces, which are 3 inches by 1 1/4, and they're going to fit all the way around there onto the sides. Okay, and I find when you're adding DSP to a box, it's always a good idea to do it before you put the box together. Gluing down onto a flat surface is much easier. I'm using my Tombow multi-adhesive. I'll just show you that in the pot. This is the one that we sell, and I've mentioned before, I always pop it into one of these very fine glue tip bottles because I find it easier to work with. So just using a small amount of glue. That's why I pop it in here, because I tend to just use too much glue if I use the other one. And then I just place it where I think it's going to fit nicely, and then pop it down. So already we've got a beautiful piece of work. So the next thing I'm going to do, this is going to fold over like so, and just to make it easier when the person opens it, I'm just going to put a little thumb hole in there, and you can use any circle punch to do this, and I happen to have one. I'm afraid it's retired punch, and I put it away. That was very tidy of me. This is the 3/4 inch circle punch, which I say has retired, I'm afraid, but it's just the right size for this. But any punch that you've got that you can use to just do a little thumb hole here will do. Just like that. And it's important, I often forget this, I did remember today, put your designer series paper on first and then punch it. I very often have punched it, then put my designer series paper on, and then, so I have to go and find the punch and then punch it out and line it up. But if you remember to do it first, makes life a little easier for you. Okay, so we are almost there already. It's surprising how quickly this box comes together. So I'm bringing it over, so this is my top. So I need to stick the back part to the sides here, like so. So I need to pop my glue onto these two bits. Now I'm just going to trim off a little bit these bits here, because it might just sit a little awkwardly if these are a bit proud. I'm not really going to wedge as such. There's just a bit of an edge on there. That's all I'm really cutting off, just that little bit, just to make sure that nothing gets fouled by anything else. So I think that's going to be better. So now just pop my glue on there. And I'm just going to find my little pegs. That was lucky, they're in the first drawer I came to. And bring that up. Now I like to use these pegs, but you can use anything you've got. Paper clips, full-size pegs that you use for your washing, anything you like, just to hold this together while it's drying. It doesn't take very long to dry. Our glue is quite quick drying. So that's really, I think that's done. Now, as I said, this glue really does dry very quickly, so not too long to wait. Now, what I often do with these boxes is, although we've measured it carefully, sometimes they are just slightly out, just a millimetre or so. And you find that, you know, you make up the box and it's just a tiny little bit too tight for the lid to fit. So a good way to avoid that happening is to now take your candles and pop them into the box. And then bring the lid down with the sides like this and make sure it all fits snugly and beautifully. And it does, okay? But just to make doubly sure you have got the fit right and your box lid fits tight enough, but not so tight that it won't close, glue it actually into the box like this, so you know that this is going to be perfect. And I do this not only with the pizza style boxes, but with the boxes I make with a separate base and lid. I'm just going to let that, the weight of the candles, keep that one at the bottom while it dries off. Okay, and then I'm just going to put the glue on the other side. And pop that one into place and turn it over again so that the weight of the candles will hold that down. So while that's happening, I'm going to show you from another suite, Elegantly Said. I purchased the beautiful punch, and I did buy the papers as well. But I thought this would be really lovely to make the little gift tag to go on the bottom of this, on the edge of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm turning my paper over, and I want a good bit of the white here. So I'm going to just line it up like so. That's a good thing about these punches. You can use them upside down so you can see exactly where it's going to punch. So that's the beauty of this punch. Now, with this punch, I should have shown you before I cut it, but you can you can just use a long piece of card. You can put it in like this so that you can just cut the top and you can just cut the bottom. And that means you can decide how long or short you want this tag to be. Very, very versatile. Okay, so I'm just, all that glitter's coming off these candles already. It's all over my hands and face and my worktop. So I'm just going to stamp this with the polished pink. So it's going to match my designer series paper. And my stamp, which has come from the matching stamp set. And I'm just going to stamp hello. And actually, before I tie it, I've got some tweezers here. They're locking tweezers. So I'm going to pop that in to keep that together. And then I've got some white twine here. Now this, I'm sorry, but this is a retired twine, but anything you've got, any similar twine you've got will be fine. This is a Stampin' Up product, but it's not current. But any twine that you've got will be fine. I mean, luckily this was a white one. Well, that's why I used it, because it was white. And it would fit in, but there's, you know, gold would be fine. Any, you know, thin gold twine or white will be fine. I'm just going to trim off those edges like so. I happen to like this little 1/8 of an inch punch. And then this is just going to be threaded onto my right. Things have not gone really well for me this morning, I will admit to you. This is actually the 3rd time I've made this video. Well, I say third, I started it twice more and realised that there was an error in my instructions. And so I had to start again, but luckily I wasn't too far in. So really, you know, I kind of knew that this was wasn't going to go 100%. So that's just tied that onto my ribbon. And I hope you'll agree that that is a beautiful little gift that anyone would be delighted to receive. Even somebody like me who doesn't like pink. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed that video, and if you would like to purchase anything from me, you will be able to use my online store. There should be a link to it in my descriptions to the video, and I also have a little banner with the instructions on here. So if you'd like to order anything, please use the May host code and you'll receive a little gift from me for doing so. Well, thanks again for watching, and I hope you'll join me again soon. If you've liked this, please give me a thumbs up, like and subscribe, and come back. Bye-bye.